Hi, my name is John Preskitt. I'm a senior designer in the services and service experience design team at Nike. That's a big fancy word for I'm a experienced designer for anything that happens inside of a Nike store that isn't selling shoes and clothes. So there's a lot of stuff that happens that's a service, returning your clothes, bra fitting. We're working on 3D body scanning for better fit results. I work very cross-functionally with a lot of product teams, 3D teams. My background is in 3D, environmental, DPC, tilting towards a visualization purpose, not necessarily fit and seams, but using Browzwear and VStitcher really for visualization purposes, and I'll get into that. Before Nike, I was at a consulting firm where I met a lot of great DPC industry folks from Columbia. And that's when I was reintroduced to my second DPC software, which was VStitcher. I started on with my hoodie and t-shirt company in 2007 in Chicago. I started doing patterns in Illustrator. I wish I had a screenshot of that. It's pretty insane, grading and everything. So I'm going to speak about two things, sales and merchandising. One is a project that I did for a denim company, and it's when I was freelancing about a year ago. I was sought out on the Guild, and as a Browzwear, like just a designer, kind of midstream role that was helping a designer that didn't know it and was really the hands to get their line sold, big box retailers. And then I picked two current Nike stories that are using DPC in merchandising, I think in a really cool way. And I was trying to seek out functional partners to get more information about that. Glad I didn't, because it's going to leave a lot open for discussion here. It's just kind of two really cool things. So this is a simplified process map I made, and it shouldn't be that unfamiliar. Some of the nomenclature is about 2-3 years old. I think I did grab a lot of that from Columbia. We made this consultancy to sell in a better process. It's a DPC process for any apparel company that's currently doing 2D that can have a faster iterative process. And this next slide shows where I was working for the denim company. It's pretty much right here at the design stage. A lot of changes were made. I'll show you where I fit. And that little circle there is what pretty much freed up many samples and time and money. Of course, it's very ecological, and you can kind of think and validate, but it's a very economical process as well. Especially the Guild helped me, have a license for it, and then I'm able to help this company that has never used it. The next slide shows the beginning. So Celebrity Pink, if anyone knows this company, it was really my first Browzwear, jobs working with them and supporting them. They didn't use the tool, and denim is not like a very entry-level product to just like stitch the stuff together. There's a lot of artwork and a lot of trims. So Celebrity Pink was a great to start off. So I put my own briefs together. These colorways and lines, they would multiply. A lot of just keeping track of, a lot of the stuff. And mostly I was rendering, and I use the word lightly, directly out of Browzwear. So I would actually hand over the BW file, and the client themselves on their end would actually tumble it around. We also went through Style Zone, which is kind of like, the 3D PDF kind of way of, cloud-based platform, which they also used for kind of like final approvals. This is great because the colorway environment in VStitcher, I don't know if I could have done it any other way. It was very fast to, start on the next colorway. Some of those, like the light acid and the super light, if you're not looking at them next to each other and zooming in, those contrasts are very subtle. So it was a very helpful tool, letting the client sign off on, what they need to do for this line, like check. And some of these intersections with Walmart, they would look at this whole thing and then approve the whole line. This is how we started off. I'd be given a DXF file or even a CAD PDF on the left and reference photos. So sometimes they would show me something from a competitor and saying like, we're going to be doing this. So I'm like, got it. This one here, it really shows how I'm operating and why I wanted to show you guys this, because I don't know where everyone is in their design careers. This was just a really great and fun and valuable like entry into DPC, helping a client paid. It was a steep learning curve, even for someone who has used VStitcher in the past. Had to use their dress form. This is a digital dress form from Alvanon. So getting the correct license for that, syncing it, it won't open unless that's all the credentials are all there. And that is a very universal digital mannequin that they will always use for these lines. And the artwork, some of it can kind of be seen. There's probably hundreds of pieces of artworks. Working in 3D is how we really got that look at rolling stuff around. And like I said, you can zoom in on a bar tack and they could just, really be very confident in their approvals. These are two new things Nike's doing adjacent to my department, and they're just really interesting. So Forward just came out. It's a new material, needle punch material that uses 75% more efficient process, which has a lot of its own benefits, like being able to construct pattern pieces a little bit more efficiently on markers. It's a brand new process. It's a synthetic. It's very light and rigid, kind of like how cotton kind of behaves. So it's good for like, hoodie stuff and activewear over kind of like loungewear. But mostly it was being merchandised using DPC output. There is a ecosystem where DPC helps a company, and it's not just early stage. It can be all the way down in visual merchandising. You can really use that digital sample like you would all the way through, even like a perfect finished samples. It's a really good material story as well, because that's the story. It's really agnostic of a lot of style. I think that's kind of a cool move to zero initiative that Nike's doing. So, and the other one is digital mannequins. South Korea is doing the most like innovative things in store currently. This Hongdae store has digital mannequins. That green screen is, for influencers to create content in store. These are currently just photographs of mannequins. They are driven by shopping data. It really made me think, because my friend who works at Browzwear, Sean, he has really good connections with Meetup, and it's a great integration plugin with VStitcher. If you haven't seen it, that would really do this. And if you're getting really technical with VStitcher, you can really start doing some things on the back end that could also do this much more efficient than photography. And it's kind of a new way of practicing new ways of shopping in general at the store. But it was a really cool way of merchandising. I want to see more of it, and we are, evangelizing. It's going to be a lot cooler to go into a store and experiences.